Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Donjo number EL-115-605-RC. This is what we call a D-strike or a full lip strike. You can see why we call it a D-strike if you use your imagination. Full lip, obviously, because it's practically a full lip. Okay. Now, first, real quick, this is exactly what you're going to get. Except that, please do bear in mind that the scratched surface you see is nothing other than the peel-away protective film covering the pristine, polished brass, solid brass material underneath. Okay, just a peel-away protective film is all it is. So this is an EL-115. Let's dissect that part number. That means that the strike is 2 1/4 tall. That's the overall height of a D strike typically, and that it is 1.5 inch extended lip. Now the way that strike plates work is they measure them from the center of the holes to the edge of the lip, and this is indeed 1.5 inches. It means it's going to have an overall width of about 2 inch. That's the EL-115. Now the 605, that means two things. That means that it's solid brass, but that it's also polished brass and finish, and it has a lacquer over it. The RC stands for radiused corner. That means that it has 1/4 inch radiused corners. How did that come about? Well, the wood door manufacturer, whoever's making the doors and frames, when they take their router, which would obviously be a 1/2 inch diameter bit, 2 flute carbide 1/2 inch diameter bit, they're not, after they've routed the jamb for the strike, they've not gone back and done the manual process of squaring the corners. So RC. And homeowners and also professionals are looking for an RC strike because A, they don't even realize that they can square the corners out if they wanted to do a square corner for whatever reason, or B, don't want to square the corners out and just looking for the radius corner. So that's why this is going to be available from Donjo. Now the EL-115 is going to be available in different materials, and let's go over that now. EL-115, and obviously if you drop the RC in the part number, you would get a square corner strike. You're going to be able to do this strike in polished brass, antique brass, satin nickel, antique nickel. You'll be able to certainly do it in a stainless steel and a DU finish, which is a dark bronze. That would be like a powder coat over stainless steel base material. A couple of screws are going to be included in a complementary finish. Now, why do you need an extended lip strike? And this strike is really about a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8, 5/16 of an inch larger than the standard strike. Well, because you have unusually thick casing, that the strike that you once had doesn't work, or the strike that came with the lock is just not long enough to prevent the latch bolt from making premature contact with the trim that you used. You might have, unusually thick casing. That certainly could be the situation, or your door might be actually inset further into the jamb than standard. When you're standing on the pull side of the door and you run your hand over the jamb and the face of the door is kicked in a little bit, about 3/32 of an inch usually. Well, imagine if that was 1/2 inch. It could be. It's unusual, but it certainly could be. You would need an extended lip strike just when you're using standard, say, colonial casing. Okay. Generally, if you're looking at extended lip strikes, you might need to think about wide throw hinges as well, but not always. But if you've got this condition on the lock side of the door, you might have the same problem with the existing hinges on the hinge side as well, and of course we can help you with that. There's a link below this video to a document called Template, which will give you all of the dimensional properties of this item. It shows a square corner strike, but just ignore that. This is a 1/4 inch radius. About the 1/4 inch radius, about the size of a dime, I would say. There's also a link below this video to the product catalog, and that's going to show you the Donjo subsection of their strike plates. They do practically they do every type of strike that you might need, and if it's not stock in the page listed there, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 4 7/8, all the different widths, 6 inch, 12 inch, 18 inch, they can make a custom strike as well, and they certainly do that. There's a link below this video finally to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only the individual subsections of those catalogs, but the entire catalog as well. If you have any questions on the Danjo EL115-605 RC Strike or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.